Hello and welcome to News Central TV. I'm Darshan Usman. Here are some stories making headlines beyond the continent. Let's begin with updates from the conflict in the Middle East. The United States has warned that Iran and its regional proxies may launch an attack on Israel as soon as this week, following last month's assassination of a prominent Hamas leader in Tehran. Speculation has repeatedly mounted that Iran's reprisal could happen soon, and National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby says the U.S. shares the same concerns and expectations that it could be this week. He maintained, however, that it is difficult to ascertain what the reprisal could include, but said it may include a significant set of attacks. Hamas and Iran have accused Israel of carrying out Haniyeh's assassination on Iranian soil. Tel Aviv has not confirmed nor denied responsibility. Meanwhile, Israeli government says it is in a period of vigilance and preparation at a time when the threats from Tehran and Beirut could materialize. Israeli Defence Minister Yoav Gallant made this known during a meeting with the Foreign Affairs and Security Committee. Now, this development comes amid mounting international pressure from a ceasefire in Gaza, with Britain, France and Germany issuing a joint plea for an immediate end to the ongoing conflict between Israel and Hamas.
שלנו, גם לחיזוק ההגנה וגם ליצירת חלופות התקפיות בתגובה וגם כיוזמה אם יידרש בכל מקום ובכל אזור, כשהיעד המרכזי הוא הגנה על אזרחי מדינת ישראל. אנחנו בימים של דריכות ושל כוננות. האיומים מטהרן וגם מביירות.
Let's also tell you that Israel has confirmed that its negotiation team will attend Gaza ceasefire talks on August 15 as previously agreed. The announcement was made by Israeli government spokesman David Mencer during a press briefing on Monday. This development follows Hamas's call for U.S., Qatari and Egyptian mediators to implement the ceasefire plan proposed by U.S. President Joe Biden.
Pursuant to the proposal by the US and the mediators, Israel will send the negotiations team on the agreed upon date, which is August the 15th. And the reason we're doing that is to finalize the details of the implementation of the framework agreement. Now, we want to get our hostages home, which is why we welcome the outline, which has also been supported by President Biden and the other mediating countries. Israel wants our...
Now joining us to shed light on the ongoing situation is Bolu Michael-Biyi, a foreign affairs analyst. Hello, Bolu. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So, Bolu, what are Israel's primary objectives heading into the upcoming ceasefire talks? And how do you think that these goals might actually shape the outcomes of the negotiations?
All right. Well, Israel's main objective would be ensuring security of not just civilians, but also their military personnel, and also limiting Hamas capacity to act in any way. And this involves several strategies that they've put in place in their conditions, such as screening Palestinians returning to Gaza and also controlling the Philadelphia corridor. And if Israel is adamant, sticking to these conditions, it might make negotiation difficult when they meet in the next couple of days. And we're seeing signs that the negotiation might stall because Hamas is saying right now that they would not be attending the negotiation talk if Israel does not revert to previous conditions, because Israel is bringing down new conditions now, and Hamas is not looking forward to that at all.
All right, but how crucial is the role of the U.S., Qatari and Egyptian mediators in the implementation of the ceasefire plan put forward by President Joe Biden?
Well, the role of mediators, is to propose compromises and ensure as much as possible that they put commensurate or adequate pressure for sides, warring parties to make certain concessions. I have said previously on the program that Egypt are accidental parties into this case, being their geographical location to Israel. The proximity is there; they are quite close in terms of border. I can arguably trust Qatar's intention, but the United States not very much, because in a couple of weeks ago, it was the other way around. But the sudden call for negotiation on the side of US may not be pure. It might be linked to the forthcoming election, which may hurt Democratic Party candidates. So I do not know the intentions of President Joe Biden, but the role of these mediators is to propose compromises, and the success will depend on how they're able to pressure both sides of making certain concessions.
All right, Bolu, now following the threats from Tehran and Beirut, Israel has actually said that it is in a period of vigilance and preparation. Now, what impact do you think that these threats, may have on the ceasefire discussions and the overall stability of the region?
Well, altogether, it might destabilize the ceasefire talks altogether. On the part of Iran, they are seeking to retaliate the killing of their leader, which happened not too long ago. Let's not forget as well that a couple of months or weeks ago as well, that Iran, responded to an attack from the United States by sending so many drones to Israel. Luckily, it didn't really cause any much damage. On the part of Lebanon, if Hezbollah and other Iran-backed groups, continue their work or intensify their attacks, it might lead to wider conflicts.
Okay. Now, John Kirby actually did say that he shares some concerns that, there might be a reprisal, and the U.S. has claimed that Iran might attack Israel this week. What do you make of this?
Oh, well, they could strike any time, because if we look at the last retaliation by Iran, I don't think that Israel was prepared in any way. So they're just insinuations. It could happen tonight, it could happen tomorrow, it could happen next week. The point is that Iran should not be taken lightly in any way if they say they're going to retaliate, because they've said it before and they did it, and they're saying it again. So, and they might likely do it at any point in time. The most important thing is for civilian lives not to be lost, and it's very important that warring parties, they protect the life of civilians by being prepared for any attack from Iran.
Absolutely, Bolu. Well, thank you so much for speaking to us on this.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.
With that, we'll take a break, and when we come back, Beyond the Continent continues. Stay with us. Welcome back. The United States has issued a warning to Iran regarding its support for Russia, citing reports that Tehran is poised to supply Moscow with hundreds of ballistic missiles. Now, in the meantime, Washington has also announced plans to resume the sale of offensive weapons to Saudi Arabia, lifting a suspension that had been in place for several years due to human rights concerns in Yemen.
We and our partners have made clear, both at the G7 and at the NATO summit this summer, together we are prepared to deliver a swift and severe response if Iran were to move forward with the transfer of ballistic missiles, which would, in our view, represent a dramatic escalation in Iran's support for Russia's war of aggression against Ukraine. Iranian officials also continue to deny providing.
President Vladimir Putin has ordered his army to dislodge Ukrainian troops who had entered Russian territory, as authorities say over 120,000 people had been evacuated away from the fighting. Kyiv launched a surprise offensive into Russia's western Kursk region last Tuesday, capturing over 24 settlements in the most significant cross-border attack on Russian soil since World War II. Putin told a televised meeting with government officials that one of the obvious goals of the enemy is to sow discord and strife, to intimidate people, and also to destroy the unity and cohesion of Russian society.
Судя по всему, противник стремится к улучшению своих переговорных позиций в будущем. Но о каких переговорах вообще может идти речь с людьми, которые без разбора наносят удары по мирным людям, по гражданской инфраструктуре, либо пытаются создать угрозы для объектов ядерной энергетики. О чем с ними вообще можно говорить?
In the meantime, the International Committee of the Red Cross, a leading humanitarian organization, has marked the 75th anniversary of the Geneva Conventions, the international treaties that govern humanitarian treatment in armed conflicts. Now, speaking to the media, Red Cross Chief Mirjana Spoljaric highlighted that there are currently more than 120 active conflicts worldwide. She emphasized that while governments and media often focus on the devastation in Ukraine and Gaza, other conflicts around the globe are causing similarly shocking levels of suffering.
Years ago, former ICRC President Cornelius Omaruga spoke of 20 active conflicts. Today, there are more than 120 conflicts recorded by my organization. And while governments and media focus on destruction in Ukraine and Gaza, armed conflicts elsewhere take a similarly shocking toll. Violence in Ethiopia has claimed hundreds of thousands of lives. Fighting has displaced 8 million in Sudan and 6 million in the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
Away from that, an 11-year-old girl and a woman were hospitalized on Monday after being stabbed in central London's Leicester Square. A man has been arrested and remains in custody, according to a police statement, which also noted that authorities are awaiting an update on the victim's condition. Police have not released further details about the suspect, but a security guard who witnessed the incident recounted how he disarmed the attacker.
I heard a scream, and the moment I saw it, there was one person, roughly around maybe like mid-30s or early 30s, and he was like stabbing a kid. So I saw that he was stabbing a kid. I jumped on him, hold the hand in which he wasn't having a knife, and I just put him down on the floor and just hold him and kick the knife away from him. And then a couple of more people joined as well, and we just hold him until the police came. It took like maybe 3 to 4 minutes. Police arrived, and they just took him into the custody. And the child, just like all my colleagues, they gave him first aid, and in the middle, police came as well, and they just gave the first aid.
Still in Europe, a massive wildfire blazed its way into Athens' northeastern suburbs on Monday as hundreds of firefighters battled to contain it, forcing thousands of residents to flee their homes and sparking a Greek government appeal for international help. In scenes never before seen in the Greek capital, residents wearing masks against the choking smoke were desperately dousing their homes with water hoses in the leafy suburbs of near Penteli and Vasilia in an effort to render them less vulnerable to fire. EU spokesman Bolu Michael-Biyi said in a statement that the EU civil protection mechanism was activated upon request of the Greek authorities, adding that Italy, France, and Czech Republic and Romania were sending units to help.
Εδώ είμαστε στο κέντρο, το κυρίως κέντρο συγκέντρωσης του πληθυσμού σε περιπτώσεις εκτάκτων αναγκών όταν υπάρχουν φυσικές ή τεχνολογικές καταστροφές. Τώρα με τη φωτιά που έχουμε αυτή τη φορά, φροντίσαμε ώστε να ενημερωθεί ο κόσμος που έχει σπίτι στην Αθήνα, επειδή είναι σε πολύ μεγάλη έκταση το μέτωπο, για να μην κινδυνεύσουμε, τους ενημερώσαμε και φύγανε για Αθήνα όταν άνοιξε η λεωφόρο Μαραθώνος. Όσοι είναι εδώ, τους πηγαίνουμε σε ξενοδοχεία που έχει κανονίσει ο Δήμος.
Ξαναπείτε μου πάλι.
Ανεξέλεγκτη, δεν υπάρχει με τέτοιον αέρα, ανεξέλεγκτη. Αφού το μέτωπο είναι τεραστίων διαστάσεων. Μιλάμε τώρα, ξεκινάει από...
Spain's ruling socialists regained control of Catalonia's regional government as a new cabinet was sworn in, ending over a decade of separatist rule in the region. The 16-member cabinet is led by Salvador Illa and is the first time since 2010 that the wealthy northeastern region has a government that does not come from the pro-independence camp. The socialists won the most seats in a regional election in May but fell short of a majority. Illa secured the support of the tiny far-right Communes Party, part of the Summa alliance that backs Pedro Sanchez, the former Prime Minister of Spain, at national level, and moderate separatist ERC party to become regional leader in a vote on Thursday in Catalonia's Regional Assembly. We head now to Asia, where doctors in government hospitals across several Indian states have indefinitely suspended elective services as of Monday in protest of the rape and murder of a young female medic. The 31-year-old doctor's body, discovered on Friday in a state-run hospital in Kolkata, West Bengal, bore multiple injuries, with an autopsy later confirming sexual assault and homicide. Police have detained a man who worked at the hospital, assisting patients in navigating the facility's queues. Sexual violence remains a pervasive issue in India, where nearly 90 rapes are reported daily in a country of 1.4 billion people. And now to a little bit of sports. Hundreds of students have protested in the Bangladeshi capital of Dhaka to demand the former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina face trial. Hasina, 76, fled to neighboring India a week ago as protesters flooded Dhaka's streets in a dramatic end to her iron-fisted tenure. Hasina's government was accused of widespread human rights abuses, including the extrajudicial killing of thousands of her political opponents.
যে খুনি শেখ হাসিনা জুলাই ম্যাসাকারে যে গণহত্যার নির্দেশদাতা, তা যার মদতে আমাদের বাংলাদেশের সাধারণ জনতার খুন হয়েছে, শিক্ষার্থী খুন হয়েছে, তাকে অনতিবিলম্বে বাংলাদেশে এনে বিচার নিশ্চিত করতে হবে। সেই দাবিতে আমরা আজকে এখানে একত্রিত হয়েছি।
না, আমরা আপাতত এই দেশের মধ্যে এই ধরনের কোনো ধরনের আশঙ্কা করছি না, কারণ আমাদের যে বিপ্লবটা হয়েছে এটা পুরো দেশের মানুষের বিপ্লব হয়েছে, কোনো একটা নির্দিষ্ট গোষ্ঠী এই বিপ্লবটা করেনি। সো এইখানে এসে কোনো ফেসিবাদ বা কোনো সংখ্যালঘু গোষ্ঠী যারা বর্তমানে প্রশাসনের দ্বারা আমাদের উপরে এত অত্যাচার নিপীড়ন করেছে, তাদের এতটা সাহস আশা করি হবে না যে এখানে এসে একটা পাল্টা কুকুর।
Team GB diver Tom Daley has announced his retirement on Monday after the conclusion of the Paris Olympics, saying it is the right time to step away from the sport. Daley announced his decision, saying he knew he was going to retire from diving before taking part in the men's 10-meter synchronized platform with partner Noah Williams. Daley, who is 30, won 5 medals in 5 Olympic Games appearances, the highlight being the gold he won in Tokyo in 2021 and culminating in a silver in the men's 10-meter synchronized diving in Paris. Former Manchester United defender John O'Shea has been named assistant coach to Heimir Hallgrimsson for the Republic of Ireland's national team. O'Shea, who served as interim head coach for recent matches against Belgium, Switzerland, Hungary and Portugal, was a candidate for the head coach role before Hallgrimsson was appointed. O'Shea previously worked as an assistant to Stephen Kenny. Paddy McCarthy will also continue in the backroom team while retaining his role at Crystal Palace. Hallgrimsson has added Gudmundur Hederson as an assistant coach focusing on goalkeeping. And that's all on Beyond the Continent. Send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on the screen. Do follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I'm Darshan Usman.